Hi everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Revv Evolution, and I'm your host Renee. And in today's episode, we're bringing you the third generation of a very successful premium compact model, which was launched back in 2004, and is drawing back the curtains on front-wheel drive architecture. We're talking about the 1 Series BMW 118i M Sport.
To date, 2.5 million units of the BMW 1 Series have been sold, strengthening its status as an important volume-selling model for the BMW brand. Available too is the BMW 118i luxury line as well.
And now it's time to get behind the wheel and do our drive experience with the BMW 118i M Sport.
Hi guys, and welcome back to the other part of our episode, which is the in-car review. Alright, this is where the section where I tell you more about stuff about the car, whether from the interior to the engine, the performance, and so on and so forth. Okay, with the new 1 Series, which is the one we're having, of course, the 118i M Sport, there's tons to talk about. So what I'm going to do is kind of break it down into two sections, basically your interior followed by the drive and what comes along with the drive, the technology, and so on. Alright, here we go. First of all, one thing you notice about the BMW 118i M Sport is the fact that it's got bigger dimensions. Okay, so bigger dimensions boils down to so many things like your more space for you on an interior, things like your headroom, legroom, shoulder room, all these aspects, of course, for you as a driver and as a family. That's something that you really want. You want a car that has all this bigger space for you to actually have more room within the car itself. And the other thing that I know probably you've heard of me talk about this over and over again about BMW, but the fact is, it shows consistency about what BMW does when it comes to the internals of the car itself. Okay, they've done with some really good high quality materials, and the fact that we have these driver focused controls and innovative details and things like your backlit trims and so on, which is once again the very first that you see in a BMW. So that being said, when it comes to, as I mentioned, about in the interior of the car itself, SensorTech upholstery, which you also notice was available in the X1 as well. And with that SensorTech upholstery, we've got things like it gives you comfy seats, really good support, and also comes with colored stitching. Okay, those little tiny details that they've added in the 1 Series. These are all things that you can notice in the car itself. And now let's move on to meet the main thing that you're going to be holding on to most of the time, which is the M Sport steering wheel, because this, of course, is an M Sport variant, which means you'll be getting a lot of the M Sport details in the car itself. With the steering wheel, of course, you get your usual multifunctional controls. Things like your cruise control, alright, your media, and a whole bunch of other management systems, which you can see on the display right there in front of you. And now moving on to display. Yes, the instrument cluster that comes in the 1 Series. It comes in a 10.25 inches screen, which is basically the same size as the accompanying central control display, which I'll talk about in just a bit. And these two screens basically form BMW's Live Cockpit Professional, giving it the name, okay, Live Cockpit Professional. And the structure of the driver's display, which is the one I'm looking at, of course, it basically references the vehicle's redesigned BMW kidney grille. Alright, so you can see that little shape that you can see, it's actually there on the driver's display of the screen itself. The rev counter runs in counterclockwise, and also the speedo has a new design. Okay, so these are all the things, little bits and pieces of what you can actually expect when you buy your 1 Series M Sport. And now moving on to the other part of the control, which is the control display. And this was designed basically for touch operation. That's right, comes with a touch screen, and it is orientated towards the driver for your optimal field of view. All right, so I always get this question. People don't get what I mean by driver focus. Yeah, everything is driver focus. I mean, I'm looking at the screens. Yeah, but the way they've arranged it, they've made it really in the sense that for the driver, you have that ease of use and ease of operation. Okay, so that's what I mean by driver focus control. And with your control display, it comes with your features like your navigation, your entertainment, and of course your car management systems, all that within the control systems itself. And you can actually configure it to personalize it or individualize it basically to your kind of liking as well. Okay, it comes as standard, but you can mess around with the settings to your liking. Okay, and the second bunch of controls that is in the car itself is the group control clusters. Okay, I'm giving names to all these little areas in the car itself, so you'll be more familiar with it. With the group control clusters, we're talking about things like your air condition, you call it your start stop, button and so on, and also the gear selector, which is also now located at the control or the lower part of the control panel. And it's really, once again, the driver focus, in the sense that you just put your hand down on the handrest, and your hand's actually there on the gear lever itself. And the infotainment system that comes along with your 118i M Sport is it comes on the BMW operating system 7.10 system. It's a new system that's been implemented within the car itself. So that's all the technology that's in the car itself. And now let's jump back again to space, which is the boot space that's available that you have in the 1 Series. We're talking about 380 liters in the car itself, and if you do that whole folding of seats thing, you get 1,200 liters, which I think is pretty good enough for a car this size. And the last thing that I'm going to talk about, the interior of the car, is the fact that it comes with another touch that BMW has added to the car itself, is the ambient lighting. Okay, it gives a little backdrop on the trims and also the door itself. It comes in it gives you the choice of 6 colors to choose from. And also, last but not least, the minute you walk away from the car or walk towards the car, it gives you the BMW welcome light. All right, so that does it for the interior. Now let's talk about the drive. Our next segment is the drive, or basically what comes in the car in terms of performance and some of the technologies that BMW has implemented in the 118i M Sport. First of all, the most crucial technology I think that they've added into the car itself is the fact that it comes from the i3. Believe it or not, but it comes from i3. It's the exceptional agility that's available in the 1 Series. It's called ARB technology, or actuator contiguous wheel slip limitation. Well, lots of technical terms for you, but let me break it down for you real easy. What it means, it significantly improves the traction when you're pulling away from maybe the start line, or you're taking corners, or driving in the wet. And it allows a wheel slip to be controlled in a more sensitive way and more swiftly than before. And I think all these are parts of safety aspects of driving. All right, especially when during the wet, that's very important. You want your wheel slip to be as little as possible. And what BMW has, the ARB technology, actually controls this in a very efficient way, which gives you all that control when you're driving the car. And also, the other thing that they've done with 1 Series is the fact that it's got increased rigidity. Well, what they've done is they make intelligent use of aluminium in the car itself, things like your bonnet and also the tailgate. Okay, they've actually reduced weight on this and shaving off as much as 30 kilos. That's a whole lot of weight to shave off a car, right? So 30 kilos is really a lot. And what it does is in this car, actually, it's 30 kilos less than the predecessor. So imagine if you happen to be driving the previous 1 Series, just mentioned, this car is actually 30 kgs less. And also at the same time, it's further increasing the bending and torsional stiffness of the body structure. So what all these technical terms kind of boils down to the fact that it's boils down to two things basically. Stiffness of the body means you have the car has better control at speeds, okay, and also at the same time, because of less weight, you're talking about the efficiency, you're talking about fuel efficiency, and also the engine efficiency. So all those come into play when they've actually done it to the car itself. And along with the usual technologies that you get in the car itself is the driving experience control, and that is, I think, if you haven't been driving BMW, be familiar with it. It gives you a choice of different modes. Basically, it's modes basically from your comfort. You also have your sport, sport controls, or even your Eco Pro, which saves fuel. So in each of these different modes, you get different controls or different so-called efficiencies of the car itself. Last but not least, I want to talk about something which really impressed me in the 1 series, is the fact that all that safety features they've implemented in this car. That we have the driving assistant, and that with the driving assistant, there's a couple of things that comes along with it. You have your blind spot monitors, so if any car or any vehicles or anything comes within your blind spot, it warns you by the beeping light there on the mirror, and at the same time your the steering actually vibrates. Okay, then there's also the lane departure assist, which is really fantastic technology. Okay, so if you happen to be going out of the lane, and I actually have a demo of that, it actually vibrates and it pushes you back into the lane. So it's a bit aggressive sometimes, but you just got to be aware that this is technology available in the car itself. And there's also the parking assist for those of you who may not have problems with parking. Okay, the parking assist actually has those parallel lines for allowing you to park, whether it's lateral or you're doing reverse parking. All those lines are available via the parking assistant. And the other thing that I'm really impressed me, I've actually created a video on it, the Revv in a minute, on the reversing assistant. Wow, that is an awesome piece of technology that BMW has implemented in the car. I will not talk about that. You can actually watch our Revv in a minute to find out what the reverse assistant is all about. All right, okay. And I think that kind of almost wraps up about what the car itself. But so in a nutshell, how does the car handle? Well, with all that information which I've given you, what it boils down to the fact is the BMW 1 Series may be the smallest number in the whole BMW range, but with all that technology and all technology you get in the car, honestly, it drives wonderfully. Okay, maybe a 1.5 liter, but it drives like a 2 liter. The power that you get out of it, and the fact that you're able to go through to use all the different modes of the car, it really feels more than a 1.5 liter. And lower center of gravity on this car is excellent. So you've got speed, you've got performance, you've got comfort, you've got everything that you actually might want in a compact sports SUV, and a sports saloon car, which I think this is definitely the 118i M Sport is definitely going to deliver to you. All right, and last but not least, the other thing which I love about the car is when you walk away or walk towards the car, it actually unlocks automatically as long as you have the key in the pocket. Alright, so there you go. All the information that you need. And as I always say, if you want to find out more about the car itself, best thing to do is get behind the wheel. Alright, or you can actually email us over at Revv. We'll be more than happy to assist you with any questions that you might have. Till we catch you again, this is Renee signing off.
Time to find out how much this is going to cost for you to drive the BMW 118i M Sport here in Singapore. Priced at $157,888, inclusive of COE, with an annual road tax of $684. Alrighty folks, time to wrap up our drive experience with the all-new BMW 1 Series 118i M Sport. With just so many things to love about the car, I'm just going to highlight a couple of things which the Revv team really loved about the car. First of all, it's the overall design of the car itself. From the aggressive front part of the car, from that shark nose design, the sporty bumpers, and on interior, all of that technology, and you'll be surprised at the amount of space that you have, not only for yourself, but for the passengers as well. We're going to say a big Revv Evolution thank you to our friends over at Performance Motors for allowing us to have the BMW 1 Series for our presentation. To find out more about Revv Evolution and all the stuff we've done, whether it's our motoring, lifestyle, or even our cultural videos, do remember to visit our website along with our social media platforms. Till we catch you again, this is Renee, signing off.